On to question 2. We've still got two parametric definitions here with our parameter t. It's obviously different from the t in here. And we're asked to find a Cartesian equation. A Cartesian equation, if you remember from lessons, is the one that just has x and y in it and doesn't have this parameter t. So here are my definitions. The first thing we're going to have to do is get rid of this parameter t. So I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to make it t equals. So we get 2t is x minus 1, and we get t is 1/2 x minus 1. You can put it as x minus 1 over 2 if you prefer, but this is how I prefer to write it. What we're going to do now is we're going to put this in here instead of t. So this definition here of t is going to be replaced just by x's. So we're going to get y equals, going to use big brackets for this, 1/2 x minus 1 squared. The only difference here is just to remind me to square everything. So I get y equals, if I square this I get 1/4, and I get x minus 1 squared. So this here is a Cartesian equation. We could expand these brackets, but it's not going to make it any nicer. But that is our Cartesian equation for the first bit. For part B, now we've got our Cartesian equation, we're asked to sketch this curve. So if we have a look at this, it's quite fortunate now that we didn't expand it, because we should notice that this is a quadratic, because it's got an x squared in it, and it touches at one point because it's got this repeated factor. So we need to look what value of x makes this 0, so that's 1, so we know it goes through here at 1. And it's going to be a positive quadratic, because if we expanded this we get a plus x squared. So it's going to go up like that, and like that. The one remaining thing is to label this point here, which is y equals 0. So if I put, so x equals 0, if I put 0 in here I get minus 1 squared, which is 1 times 1/4, which gives us our quarter. So here we've got our sketch. Do you need to make sure you have both these points labelled here? But that's the question done.